As above, so below. What goes on in here will go on out here. As within, so without. So, for those who are new, my name is Lawrence Harris. I'm a youth empowerment speaker. I spent the last 4 years specializing in helping teens and young adults build self love, confidence, and overall a positive outlook on life. And what we'll be talking about today is the fact that we've all heard the phrase, as above, so below. But you might not really get it. Or even you might understand it, but you don't know how do I apply this esoteric spiritual saying to my actual life. Time to dig into that. So, what it simply means is what goes on in the higher realms. You can think of this spiritual, you can think of this as God, you can think of this as universe. But for our purposes, we're going to focus this on how your mentality and way you see the world will influence the world that you live in. So, here's how this is going to play out. You go through life thinking to yourself, man, everything sucks. Everybody's so evil, they're backstabbing, they're rude, they're disrespectful, they are so bad. You're thinking this over and over. As above, then you go through your life and you already have this bad attitude because you think everyone else has a bad attitude. So what goes on within will start to be reflected without. You're going to somehow, some way, come across people who treat you badly. You might go to a restaurant and the waiter says, "Hello, may I take your order?" They come out nice and sweet, and you're like, "Yeah, I want a burger." And then now they feel upset. They feel like, dang, I'm just trying to do my job. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to be of service to you. So now they're upset and they take their anger out and their frustration onto you because as above, so below. As what goes on within you, you will put that out into the world. It's like when you see somebody and you can just look at them and be like, dang, they must be having a bad day. Their body language isn't saying nothing. They haven't said anything. Somehow you can just feel it on them. This is what we can refer to as intuition, but also we can look at it as a frequency. So, frequency is just the vibration and energetic state of something. You can think of Wi Fi as a good example. There is a signal that's floating all around this room that is going into this device. And then that signal is going into the airwaves and going into your device. You might see me and say, "Oh, he must be having a good day. He's smiling, he's happy. He seems like he is having a good day." And I am. But you can also feel it on me. We have a conversation and I say, "Hi, my name's Lawrence." Or if I say, "Hi, my name's Lawrence," the energy in my voice, the sound wave, the tone is a vocal frequency that communicates something to you. It's communicating to you what's going on in here. How am I feeling emotionally? How am I feeling mentally? Now, with that prefaced, hopefully that made sense to you because something that you're going to understand very quickly about me if you're new to my content is I do not script my videos. I just get an idea, I write down like 3 bullet points, and then I go. And I think there's so much beauty in my style of doing it. But back on subject. So, how can we apply this to our life? Plain and simple. Observe to yourself what goes on in my mind. How do I see the world? What am I thinking? Not, don't involve your emotion in it, just look at it as it is. Every day, what goes on in your mind? What goes on emotionally? What goes on inside of you? What are you taking in? What kind of music are you listening to? What kind of entertainment? What kind of people are you around? What do you talk about? What are you eating? What are you drinking? What are your habits? Because as above, what goes on mentally, what you're taking in up here, be as below. Oh, as above, what goes on mentally, what you're taking in, so below. If you're taking in a lot of negativity, if you're saying a lot of negativity, If you're thinking a lot of negativity, as above in here, so below. You're going to start talking negative about people. You're going to start gossiping. You're going to start slandering. You're going to start backstabbing. You're going to start hating, to put it plain and simple. If you start looking at the world as above, with the mentality, with the attitude, with the views of a hater, you will become a hater. But if you view life as, man, life is kind of good. I don't have a car. You might not be living in a 5 bedroom mansion. Well, mansions are bigger than 5 bedrooms, but you get the point. You might not be living in the most ideal circumstances. You might not be living with everything you want. But if you at least appreciate the fact that I'm not deaf, I'm not blind, I got all 10 fingers, I am able to breathe, I don't have asthma, the sun is shining, there's not a bullet in the wall. If you can be grateful for that, if you view life with the mentality of life is pretty darn good, and then you start saying things like, wow, the sun is shining, I'm happy today, I'm grateful, and you start taking actions such as gardening, getting some hobbies, getting a journal, taking positive action, as above, what you view mentally, what goes on here, so below. So your actions, so your conversations, so your reality. Now, as within, I know what I want in life. I love myself. I feel good about myself. I'm proud of myself. I'm confident. As within, so without. I start socializing with people. I'm going outside. I'm making friends. I'm taking action. I'm working on my goals. Because what goes on within, as above, so below. As within, so without. Because a lot of times we try to fix things external first rather than looking inside of us. Because we get told, okay, if you have a problem, approach it from the external. But here's the harsh reality: the only thing every problem in your life has in common, the only thing every breakup in your life has in common, the only thing that everything in your life has in common is you. It's kind of like trying to clean something. Like imagine seeing me try to clean my car. I don't have a car, but for the sake of the argument, well, for the sake of the example, imagine you have a car and the car is broken. Like the car is torn up, is broken down. And I try to fix the frame. The car's not starting. The car is not working. But I think if I fix the frame of the car, then it's going to work. No, you got to fix the inside first, then fix the outside. So when you have a problem in your life, you're like, man, my money always acting up. My relationships keep ending a certain way. The jobs keep firing me. This problem keeps repeating in my life over and over and over and over. You can't try to solve the external thing. You need to look at, okay, I have a pattern that keeps happening. You need to look inside of yourself and observe, what am I doing? What am I thinking? What is going on inside of me that is leading to this outside thing to happen? Because if your relationships keep ending this same way over and over and over and over, there must be an issue in you that needs to be addressed. And that's not to say you're a problem. No, that's to say that your thoughts, actions, and words are creating a reality that you do not want. It's something that you are in control of. But you're trying to fix the external. You're trying to work on the outside rather than addressing the inside. You're trying to address the problem itself rather than addressing the root cause of the problem. It's like when you have weeds in the garden. What goes on underneath the surface? What goes on mentally? What goes on spiritually? What goes on habit wise, mentality wise, inner wise? What goes on below the surface is what creates the weeds. When you have weeds in a garden, you don't cut them, you dig them up. Because until you dig up that pain that you're holding on to, until you dig up those bad habits, until you dig up those things inside of you that need to be addressed, you're going to keep growing more weeds everywhere you go. That's the that's the secret. Because what goes on as above, so below. If you have weeds and pollution and dirt and grime up here, it will show up as below. It will show up outside of you. It will show up in how you treat people. It will show up in your habits. It will show up in how you take care of yourself. It will show up in all areas of your life. And I'm saying this not to upset you. I'm saying this to show you that the problem you're having is something internal. And when we fix the internal, we fix the external. You are in control of this because if you're in control of you, then you are in control of the problems that keep repeating in your life. Yes, you cannot control the weather. Yes, you cannot control certain things, but you can control you. You can control what goes on up here. And when you get control of your mind, you will then figure out the plan. You will figure out how you can get out of this situation. You will figure out, okay, I need to stop dating these people because if I keep dating people who are bartenders, for example, I'm not saying all bartenders are cheaters. I'm not saying that in case you're a bartender watching this. But I'm saying if you have a habit of dating people who are bartenders, or people who work in nightclubs, or people who are gamblers, or whatever, and it keeps leading to cheating and infidelity in a relationship, and that's how it's ending, maybe we need to change up our selection process. But before we can do that, we need to look inside of ourselves and say, what is it that's leading me to keep choosing these people? What is it? Is it the thrill? Is it the excitement? Is it the fact that deep down you enjoy the thrill of this? The emotional roller coaster? And then you also want to look at what made you this way. Not to beat yourself down, not to insult yourself, not to tear yourself down, but to simply be aware of it. Because if you're not aware of something, if you don't pay attention to the habits in your life, if you don't pay attention to what keeps repeating, inevitably it will come up again and again and again. Because wherever you are, you're there. Whatever relationship you're in it. Whatever job you work it. Whatever business you start, you're running it. So, as above, what goes on mentally, so below. What goes on up here will have a massive impact on what happens out here. Because if you're bad with your finances, and you think that this new job will solve that, like, I'm bad with my finances. Maybe I should get a different job. That's the solution. Oh my gosh. No. Because if you're bad with your money, you are bad with your money no matter how much of it or how little of it you have. No matter if you're a multi-millionaire or you're living paycheck to paycheck. If you are bad with your money, you are bad with your money. But because you are bad with your money, you are also the solution. Because if the problem is something, if the root cause of the problem is something inside of you, when you fix that thing inside of you, all of the problems will fade away because the root cause has been eliminated. It's like you don't want to treat the symptom, you want to treat the cause. Because when you eliminate the cause, you eliminate the issue. Mm, I'm going all. And for one reason or another, we think that we can solve our problems by addressing the symptom rather than addressing the cause itself. So look inside of yourself, figure out what is it that goes on mentally, what is it that goes on spiritually, what is it that goes on inside of you that is creating the issues in your life that you don't want to have. Maybe those issues are money related. Maybe those issues are relationship related. Maybe those issues are confidence related. Maybe those issues could be anything. But as within, so without. As above, so below. And what goes on in here will create what goes on out here. And on that note, I hope you have a wonderful, lovely day. If you're interested in purchasing my book, Power to the People, where I discuss ways that you can build self love, inner strength, as well as the interconnection between your financial habits, your mental well being, and physical health, you can find that in the description below. And if you happen to be a podcast host, or you run an organization such as a school, you're the principal there, or a youth organization, so think of YMCAs, summer camps, things of that sort. You can contact me at my email address below in the description. I hope that you have a wonderful, fantastic, and lovely day.